I want you to try something for me. Pick up a book, any book that you would like, and read it for 10 minutes without touching your cell phones. Just do it. Promise me, I have a point to prove. Now, the thought of it or the action, if it feels impossible for you, we have a big problem going over here. And trust me, you are not alone in this. We are all here for you. We are all in this together. Why? Why do you think I'm talking about this? Because we have not realized this, but very recently a study has shown that our brains have changed the way it actually processes things, and our attention span has decreased over the years. Not to just you or me, but to everybody around the world. And what is causing it and how do we deal with it? We're going to talk about it. So let's get into it. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Navya Studios, and this channel is for you if you want to become the more independent, empowered and the best version of you in 2026. Today we're going to talk about why nobody is reading books anymore. In 2004, the average time spent by a human being to read something was 23 minutes, which has literally decreased to 10 minutes now in 2026. No, I'm not kidding. This is proven in a study. What has happened to us all over the years? Why can't we read anything anymore? The problem is our attention span. The world around us has decreased so much that we just don't want to read anymore. 30 minutes is too much for us. Less than 10 minutes is the average for our generation. Why do I say our generation? Because the studies have found that people under 35 are actually going through this problem, not above. Under 35. That means people like you and me are so-called Generation Z. The people who actually need literacy the most, who actually should be getting educated because you have all the resources in the world. Still, we don't have the attention span like our parents or grandparents used to have. Why do you think it is happening? Every app on your phone is engineered to give our brains a dopamine hit. Every new sound, every new face, every new image, every new fact is just novel enough to keep you from looking away. And your brain has actually learned that. And after years of actually going through it, it has adapted to it. So now, when you try to do something new, your brain resists it because it has actually been rewired. Like reading a book. Reading a book is completely different to what we are actually accustomed to doing. Scrolling and just mindless time spent on social media. When you read a book, you are mandated to actually be in one world. Listen to one voice, ponder and think over the idea of what the author is trying to tell you. Sit over it and think. Does it something that resonate with you, or what would happen to you? The books that have that effect on us. The resistance that you feel when you're trying to read, my friend, that is not boredom. That is your brain trying to resist the discomfort, because you have divided your brain into thinking that scrolling is normal and reading a book apparently is not. Over the years, this billion-dollar industry which has been built by apps and softwares on our laptops and phones, the people who have created it, they had no idea of what they were actually creating. And people like you and me who actually signed up and logged into our accounts, we had no idea what we were actually signing up for. The main thing, the main trait of human beings that we have actually bartered for social media is our focus. Focus, something that we had and we were so used to having it that now social media has actually taken that away from us. And it feels like a luxury now. So ladies, why should we actually start reading books? Well, it has numerous benefits, but let's start with number one. It helps you build the vocabulary. All the previous videos that we have been talking about of how to sound educated and how to have that elegance, that voice, that the version to become yourself, like the most educated version, the most confident version, that when you start a conversation, you want people to hear you. Having a good vocabulary helps a lot, and you can exactly achieve that by reading books. Another important thing that books help us is it helps us teach us empathy. Training your brain to understand what a character is going through, what the situation is, and analyzing the situation actually helps you develop your emotional intelligence, and that is something which is very critical nowadays. A trait all the corporate world around have been looking for, and something that also help you rewire yourself and empower yourself to understand what is it that you want and what is it that you don't want. The best part about reading a book is it gives you a window to what the author is thinking. Like, imagine many of us, like if you were given a superpower as to what would you like to have, I'm sure so many of us will say the same thing, to look into people's minds. Books are the windows to people's minds. Imagine reading a book of a CEO, a memoir. You are getting free knowledge, like literally the life experience of a 52-year-old CEO just wrapped up in pages which will literally take you 6 hours. Imagine the experience, imagine the teachings. Those teachings and those learnings will not be given by a 10-second reel on Instagram. Statistics show that a CEO reads about 52 books in a year, whereas the average human being reads about less than 4 books. This gap is not just a coincidence. If you know, you actually know what I'm talking about. Now that you've learned what is actually wrong with our brains, how do we rewire it? How do we actually rebuild? We start with reading 5 pages a day. I'm not talking about reading a whole chapter, not for an hour, just 5 pages before your first roll, at the pace you wish. Finish 15 books like this and you will easily in an year. Read whatever genuinely interests you, and this is something which I personally advise as well. I believe every human loves a specific genre of books, and they would love that with their absolute heart. Something that is in alignment with their interests. Now, for example, me. I got into reading because my mother used to give me comic books when I was young. Now, people around will think, oh, reading comic books was not reading. But that is what actually helped me to transform from reading comic books to novels to self-help. I know. I am the person who has always been against using self-help because I used to think it's just pure wisdom and no fun at all. But recently I've been getting more into it and I realized that I was wrong about it. So how do you actually discover yourself just like I did? By starting with something that interests you. It does not matter what is it that you love. If it's a sports, it's a book about sports, you can read that. If it's just a romance novel, you can read that as well. Do not let the people judge you. The only person that should be judging you critically is you yourself. And remember the goal of why you're doing it. I have listed down the reasons and that is fine. But the main goal of inculcating reading into your habit, into your hobby, is to actually loving what you read. I can say n number of things, but if you do not enjoy reading, there is no way you will be able to improve your vocabulary or actually sound like an intellectual. Charge your phone across the night and keep a book beside your bed table. You would be amazed by what you reach for when your phone is not in your arm's length. And if a text feels genuinely hard to ignore, start with audiobooks. Like that is something which I would actually recommend a lot. If you feel like you're not a person who can read, start listening. Like Spotify, there are so many podcasts. You get audiobooks, like so many of them are already there. You can use it, but start actually expanding your brain with knowledge. In the end, to summarize, I would just say, you did not stop reading or you did not actually start reading because you never cared about growing yourself or empowering yourself. You were actually not doing it because something easier was always available in just your right hand. That is a phone which helps you scroll. But now that you actually know what are the consequences, like the fact that you are actually becoming a dumb person because you are not, taking in knowledge, and you know what to do, you can choose your life differently. That's all from my end. Drop in the comment section and let me know what was the last book that genuinely changed your life and how you think. Reading list you can also add in the comment, and I will see you in next video, not next Thursday. Till then, stay you, stay beautiful, and remember, you are the most amazing person in your life. I love you so much, girls. Bye.